Men over 50, listen closely. There's a reason you haven't built muscle, a reason you're still soft in the mirror, a reason you feel weaker, flatter, and more frustrated than ever, and a reason your body simply refuses to grow, no matter how many workouts you push through. And that reason comes down to 5 muscle-killing mistakes almost every man over 50 makes without even realizing it. Fix these 5 mistakes, and you can finally start building muscle again at 50, 60, even 70 faster than you ever thought possible. And here's the thing about the final mistake. The one at the end I'm going to talk about is something almost no man ever thinks about, and it silently destroys testosterone every single night. But before we get into the first mistake, my name is Gary Walker. I've been coaching men for more than 30 years. And for the past 12 years, I've worked exclusively with men over 40, 50, 60, even into their 80s. Men with joint pain, stiff hips, low testosterone, low energy, old injuries, and decades of frustration. I've helped thousands rebuild their strength, their muscle, and even their confidence. Everything I'm about to share is proven. This is what works for older men right now at this phase, and it's all based on physiological reasoning. Let's break down the 5 mistakes that are holding you back. Mistake number 1 is training past 45 minutes. Most men don't know this, but when you train past about 45 minutes of actual working sets, cortisol starts rising sharply. Cortisol is a direct antagonist to testosterone. The longer your sessions run, the more your body shifts into a breakdown mode instead of a growth mode. In the first 30 to 45 minutes of focused resistance training, you get the sweet spot of high neural drive, strong muscle fiber recruitment, and good hormone support. But after that, fatigue builds, your form starts to slip, your nervous system gets taxed, and your body begins to lean more towards stress and survival than growth and adaptation. But when you train with intention, with structure, and you limit your working sets to roughly 45 minutes, now this isn't counting your warm-up set, it's 45 minutes of the resistance training workout. If you do that, you hit the window where you stimulate the muscle, you challenge your system, and get out before your hormones turn on you. Shorter, harder, smarter sessions will build more muscle than those long, drawn-out marathons that leave you drained and inflamed. Mistake number 2 is believing that machines are inferior for building muscle, man. Now, this comes from old school bodybuilding culture. The idea that machines are somehow cheating or that barbells are the only way to build size. That might work for a 22-year-old kid with pain-free joints, open hips, and zero wear and tear, but for most men over 50, barbells do a lot more harm than good. Modern machines are built with converging and diverging resistance paths that follow the natural arcs of human movement. They line up better with your joint angles. They also reduce shear forces on the shoulders, elbows, and spine, and they let you lock into a stable position so you can focus all of your effort on driving tension through the muscle rather than fighting to keep the weight from collapsing your joints. That stability allows you to push closer to failure safely, which is exactly what you need to stimulate hypertrophy at this age. Machines also provide more consistent tension across a range of motion. They provide better alignment and a far safer environment for progressive overload. This means more tension on the muscle, less stress on the joints, better hypertrophy, and lower injury risk. For a man over 50, the combination of machines, cables, and dumbbells gives you the safest and most effective long-term environment for muscle growth. And if you're thinking, well, what about stability? Don't worry, man, we're not getting rid of dumbbells. You will still build stability, balance, unilateral strength, and coordination with dumbbell presses and rows, split squats, and single arm work. And cables will still be in the mix as well for constant tension and freedom of movement. The only tool we are removing is the one that punishes older joints the most: heavy barbells. Now, machines simply replace barbells as the main heavy driver. Dumbbells stay in, cables stay in. You still train the same movement patterns. You just do it in a way that's less on your joints and more to building muscle to help your muscle actually grow. Mistake number 3 is this: not fueling your muscles with carbohydrates. Older men love cutting carbs because they fear gaining fat, but carbohydrates are not the enemy, man. They are your primary performance fuel, especially for resistance training. This is what carbs actually do. When you eat carbs, your body stores them as glycogen in the muscles and in the liver. Glycogen pulls water into the muscle cell, increasing intracellular fluid. Now, that intracellular water is what gives you those full round looking muscles and the big pumps. It also improves your leverage, it helps generate force, and literally cushions the contractile machinery inside the muscle. When you go into your workouts with full glycogen stores, you can push harder, get more reps at a given weight, and maintain your performance across multiple sets. That means more total work, more mechanical tension over time, and more muscle growth. Carbs also lower perceived exertion. So the same set feels easier when your muscles are properly fueled. On top of that, your body is most insulin sensitive during and after training, which means the carbs you eat around that window are more likely to be pulled into the muscle and less likely to be stored as body fat. Now, when you slash carbs too hard, especially as an older lifter, your glycogen drops, your muscles flatten out, your pumps disappear, and your performance nosedives. You feel weaker, your nervous system fatigues faster, your recovery slows down, and your hormones take a massive hit. Thyroid function drops, cortisol creeps up, and everything about building muscle becomes harder. Now, men over 50 need strategically placed carbs though, but not zero carbs. Focus your complex carbohydrates around your training sessions so you go into your workouts fueled and you come out of them recovered instead of crawling through them on fumes. Under-eating carbs is one of the fastest ways to stall your progress, and it also convinces your body that your body just can't grow anymore, when in reality, you were just underfueled. All right, now mistake number 4 is using the wrong rep ranges. A lot of older men live in the 12 to 15 rep range, but they pick a weight so light, they could probably do 20 or more reps if they really tried to. That's not hypertrophy work. That is just moving weight around, going through the motions. On the other end of that, some guys load up the bar and grind out heavy sets of 4 or 5 max reps, putting all the stress on their joints, ligaments, and tendons while barely even giving the muscle enough time under tension to grow. Now, the sweet spot for most men over 50 is this. Work primarily in the 8 to 12 rep range for your main movements, and choose a weight that brings you to within 1 to 2 reps of failure of that. That means if you're shooting for 10 reps, you should be able to maybe do 11 or 12 at most if your life's dependent on it, but you still stop at 10 with clean, controlled form. This is where mechanical tension peaks. This is where you recruit those high threshold type 2 muscle fibers that are responsible for muscle growth. Now, this is also where you get the most time under tension per set, usually around 40 to 60 seconds to actually trigger the adaptations that you're looking for. If the weight is so light that your last rep feels easy and you can keep going, then you're not sending a strong enough signal for your body to lay down new muscle tissue. If the weight is so heavy that you're only getting 4 or 5 reps, most of that load is being absorbed by passive structures like cartilage and connective tissue instead of the muscle belly itself. So the rule is pretty simple. Pick a rep range like 8 to 12, choose a weight that makes those reps challenging, and push until you are 1 to 2 reps away from true technical failure. Control the eccentric, don't rush your sets. When you can hit that top of the rep range for all of your sets with that level of intensity, then you earn the right to add a little more weight. That's how you optimize hypertrophy without destroying your joints. All right, mistake number 5, man. 5 is alcohol, the silent testosterone killer almost no older man thinks about. Now, here's the truth. Alcohol destroys your muscle building potential, even when everything else on paper looks good. When you drink, even just one drink, your testosterone drops for up to 24 hours. Your estrogen also increases. Your liver stops handling normal hormone metabolism so it can prioritize processing the alcohol. And your REM sleep, your deep state sleep, they get disrupted. And that is the phase where you release the most growth hormone and do the deepest recovery. Your cortisol rises the next morning, putting you in even more of a catabolic state. Your hydration status drops. Your recovery slows, protein synthesis decreases, your nervous system never fully resets. I can go on, man. Your mood dips, your motivation fades, your energy plummets, and you wonder why you feel flat and unmotivated the next day. On top of that, alcohol lowers your inhibition and decision-making ability. You are much more likely to overeat junk food, skip your workout, or go through the motions instead of pushing with intent. It also reduces dopamine sensitivity in the long run, which means normal life feels less rewarding, and you end up needing more stimulation to feel the same level of satisfaction. Over time, alcohol also accelerates aging, cognitive decline, and emotional instability. It chips away at your discipline and your identity you're trying to build. So some men are not failing at their training because of their poor nutrition or their training habits. They're failing because of what they are pouring into their glass at night and what it does to their hormones, their brain, and their overall choices. All right, now with all of that said though, here's the good news. You fix these 5 mistakes and your body will start responding again. Your strength will increase, your pumps will improve, your recovery will accelerate, and your energy will come back. Your physique will start transforming faster than you expect. And here's the thing, to help you get started right away, I put together a free revival guide, man, a simple, powerful blueprint that gives you the ideal training split, the structure, and the daily framework to take back control of your muscle, your energy, and your health. And you can download it right now. Just go to the link below this description in the description box and download the link. Get started immediately. Thanks so much for watching my video. As always, get busy, get after it, and God bless.